Welcome. Thank you for joining me. My name is Bjorn. Today we're going to be looking at what I'm calling the Fallen Dragon. I was trying to channel my inner edgelord while making this, and it was really cringy. But perhaps you could play this something to if you're interested in a Genji type of playstyle. That might make sense because with the backstory of Genji, he was killed by his brother, and he is a Shimada clan dragon, and he died. But instead, Black Watcher, I can't remember the exact story. They rescued him, blah 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 blah. All of a sudden, he's a cyborg. He's finding inner peace again. That could be part of your backstory. But with this, I would recommend, of course, with any character, making up your own backstory, claiming it as your own. It's a lot better. The playstyle of this wouldn't revolve around him throwing fucking shurikens everywhere. I mean, you could probably do that with this, but I'm not sure how effective that would be. So this is probably more around like his ultimate, his dragon blade and slashing and dashing. So let's go ahead and get into it. Alright, and if you want to skip everything, you can just see here, this is what we end off with. This is the Samurai Fighter level 12 and a Death Domain Cleric level 8. You can go about picking your ASIs and all that shit on your own. I just picked out what I felt would be appropriate for this character. Let's go over this like we're going to go over a level 1 character. I decided to go with the Fallen ASMR here. It felt fitting to how this I built the class first and then I pick a race. That's generally how I go with it because I want to synergize, possibly if I'm multi-class, I want to synergize two classes together that work well. I want to add a race that also helps with that. Now with the Death Domain Cleric, we are able to negate anyone's necrotic damage. So I felt like Necrotic Shroud in this case, being able to have these black skeletal wings come out, you're able to do necrotic damage equal to your level, essentially, to each target. So it's pretty nice. Not to mention we also gain a strength increase, which is what this character will be using for their modifier for their weapons. Of course, having necrotic, radiant damage resistance, amazing, dark vision, normal speed. Now because this character does require just two classes for multi-classing. The fighter multi-classing requirement is a strength or a dexterity of 13, and the cleric multi-class is a wisdom of 13. So you choose whichever modifier you want to use for whichever weapon. Maybe you want to go more finesse weapon with this character, and you would go with dexterity in that case. Personally, I just like big greatswords, so go with that. But yeah, for stat priority, I would recommend having your weapon modifier higher, then focus on getting your wisdom up as much as you can. I like to focus on charisma or constitution next with this character, because I am going to be a frontline fighter. I want to be a bit more hardy. I want to be able to take some hits because you're going to be in the line of fire a lot. And intelligence and possibly dexterity or strength could be your dump stat afterwards. Now for this character's background, because I decided to go kind of the Shimada clan dragon shit, I decided to go with Noble. Felt like it best fit this character. You're able to, position of privilege or play it up however you want. This is just an example background. Alright, now that we're back here, we're going to go ahead and start up with level 1. So for first level, I decided to go with Athletics and Intimidation. The reason for this is because we are a strength-based character. I mean, you can still go with Acrobatics at any point. Of course, fighting style, this is up to you. I'm going with a Great Weapon Master, and we reroll 1s or 2s. Pretty great. Of course, as a fighter, we get to choose any of them, which is awesome. We get Second Wind at first level as well, and this is absolutely beautiful. I love Second Wind. Now we're moving on, and this is the point of, I'm not going to tell you when to insert the Death Domain Cleric. I could see you maybe wanting to do it sooner, but I wanted to take the Samurai Fighter all the way up to level 12 here. I felt like this character developed his own skill and honed his own ability and shit like that. But now he's going out and he's looking to, he's been praying to this god, and or he's been pleasing this god that he has been sending them many souls or some shit like that, unknowing to him. This is up to the DM and you, how you'd like to go about it. So second level, we get Action Surge, beautiful. And then at third level, we get to choose our martial archetype. And of course, we're going with the Samurai in this case. So I wasn't too sure how much I liked the Samurai at first, but then I realized that the Fighting Spirit ability here is pretty fucking cool. Essentially, we gain temporary hit points whenever we use this at the beginning of our turn. So at this level, it's only going to be 5. At 10th, it's going to be 10, 15, 15. The main thing with this, though, is that it counts as a bonus action. And then we can give ourselves advantage on all weapon attack rolls for that fight, which at this level isn't all too impressive. So, you know, we can bonus action and then give our main hand just our single attack advantage, which is awesome because you can crit. It's like a reckless, but you gain health and you don't give other people advantage, which is pretty awesome. But now all of a sudden at 5th level you gain an extra attack, so that's 2 attacks which you've gained advantage for, so that's 4 rolls right there to get a 20. And then of course I brought it up to 12 just honestly to get the extra attacks so that we have 3 attacks. So all of a sudden attack, 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 all at advantage at 6 rolls, and then we can action surge, do this again, attack, 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 all at advantage. That's what, 12 rolls? Yeah, we have 12 rolls to see if we get a 20, which is fucking insane. And not only that, it's going to synchronize with us doing some extra damage on the side too. So yeah, Fighting Spirit, I really like this. This is really cool. It has a lot of potential for doing a shit ton of damage. For the bonus proficiency, I decided to go with a Samurai skill. I went with Insight. I just like Insight. I like to be able to read into what people are thinking or feeling, and now this is where we get to choose our first ASI. I of course decided here to go with a feat and Great Weapon Master. I wanted to get this out of the way and start playing that up. This way that it's going to be a bit awkward because if you do get a critical hit and you use your Fighting Spirit, you won't be able to actually gain benefit from the bonus attack that you get here. So at first it may not come up all too much. It's only ever going to come up whenever you're not using your Fighting Spirit, which is kind of unfortunate. But at later levels we're going to have 3 baseline attacks. That's 3 rolls to see if we get a 20, which is pretty awesome. Like, fighters are dope. So yeah, Great Weapon Master is great. We're probably just going to be ending up more so using the -5 penalty to attack rolls and adding the +10. That's where the real benefit comes with this class, is that we're probably always going to be able to get that +10 onto our rolls after this point. And at 5th level, we finally gain our first of 2 extra attacks, which is absolutely absurd. And yeah, fighters are cool. 6th level, we gain another ASI. I decided to go with another feat here. Because the race gave me an ASI to our strength, I wanted to get our strength bumped up another modifier from the 18 that I happened to imaginarily roll. And so I decided to go with Heavy Armor Master. And now this is up to you with what you want to go with here. I mean, you can go with any other feat. This character of mine, he isn't be wearing plate and shit like that because I want to. If, like, it's safe. It makes me feel good. And my dexterity probably isn't going to be that high with me wanting to have my wisdom, charisma, and constitution and charisma. Like, there's so many other stats that I want to have up that I'm going to probably want to exist within my plate gear unless all of a sudden I turn this into a dex-based fighter, which I don't see myself doing. But yeah, Heavy Armor Master is amazing. A beautiful feat. We of course get that score increase, but also with reducing damage by 3 from bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage at all times. That's insane. Of course, magical weapons get through that, but this is 3 points of damage that you're not taking all the time. Like, that shit adds up. After 10 hits, if they're non-magical, that's 30 points of health that you didn't need to go down in. That's fucking crazy. At 7th level, we get Elegant Courtier. It's a nice little benefit. We're able to interact more socially with people. So whenever we make a charisma persuasion check, actually I think I did take persuasion at some point because I think I've seen this and I wanted to make the most use out of this. I think that's why I only took persuasion. But yeah, so we don't only gain a charisma bonus towards our charisma. I'm gonna say that all the time now. Our charisma checks, persuasion checks. We also add our wisdom modifier to it. At 7th level, we gain the Elegant Courtier feat. Pretty impressive. We add a bonus to our persuasion checks if we want to go down that route. And of course, we also gain proficiency with a wisdom saving throw. This is pretty great having that additional saving throw. One less thing that we need to possibly worry about. At 8th level, we gain a new feat. I decided to go with a mobile feat here. I want to be able to run and keep up with people. Also being able to attack something and then just move through. Like, by this level, we already have attack. We can action surge, attack, and run through a shit ton of mobs and not take any opportunity of attacks, which would be really cool. Of course, this is one of those feats that, like, it's amazing, but, like, if you do need ASI improvements, like, those other 2 feats I felt were required for this character for myself. But if you need to increase another score, say you're just below what you need for wisdom, bump up your wisdom, do what you need to do to multi-class. Of course, at level 9, we get our Indomitable, being able to reroll a saving throw that we failed. Pretty great. At 10th level here, we gain our Tireless Spirit, so if we go into an initiative roll and we don't have any uses of our Fighting Spirit remaining, we gain 1 use back. Pretty great. I mean, you know, being able to endure longer throughout the day in case there's something that came up and you needed to burst something down, it makes sense. We finally get our final extra attack here, attack, attack, attack. So yeah, this is pretty awesome. Not much more to say about that. And for a final ASI, I decided to go with the martial adept here. You could go with this possibly sooner even. But yeah, so we only get 1 superiority die with this. Not too bad. We get riposte, which is something, you know, misses us, which we're gonna have a high AC. Is a pretty decent chance that they will. We can go ahead and just fucking cut off their head or cut off their hand after for even attempting such a thing. I really like riposte. It fits into this character's mentality of, you piece of shit, I'm gonna kill you. And then evasive footwork, I would recommend this for just about anyone. It's an amazing ability, adding AC so that we can run through a shit ton of mobs. That's always my thought on it. Alright, and this is where I decided to finally start to multi-class into the Death Domain Cleric. So of course at first level, we gain our Divine Dominion, go with Death Domain, and then we also gain Reaper. So this is where the character can start to use some more ranged abilities, and I kind of like that, where they're more focused on dishing out melee damage, but if they absolutely need to, they can, you know, if they can't reach their target, Chill Touch, and also Reaper is a really cool ability, especially if you take the Death Domain Cleric up to level 17. There's a character that I'm waiting to play that is a Death Domain Cleric, and I might do a video on her because I have an interesting backstory. Of course, if we already didn't have it somehow, we also gain proficiency in martial weapons. We already have that. Don't need to worry about that, but yeah, Death Domain Cleric, really cool. At second level, we gain our Channel Divinities, so Touch of Death. The Cleric can use Channel the Divinity to destroy another creature's life force by touch. When the Cleric hits a creature with a melee attack, the Cleric can use Channel Divinity to deal extra necrotic damage to the target. The damage equals 5 plus his or her Cleric level. So, by, you know, 8th level, this is plus 13, not bad. And then all of a sudden we'll have this with our Necrotic Shroud up for each attack, so 33 extra damage, thereabouts, every single slash, well not every single slash, every single round of combat that we're doing. So that's an extra nice little burst that I really like, and a bit of flair to it. Moving on to 4th level, we gain another feat. I decided that because this character has so many extra attacks, they're going to be doing a lot of damage. I felt like Mage Slayer was appropriate. That is, if you can actually afford to take this, if you want to increase, again, one of your scores up by so much. But Mage Slayer seems pretty amazing. We can attack something 6 times and give them disadvantage on those 6 rolls, and we're probably going to get a crit in there somewhere. So it's likely that they're going to break their concentration with you. So I really like Mage Slayer with this build. Here at 5th level, we gain our Destroy Undead. It's only ever going to be a CR of 1/2 or lower. Not amazing, but I mean, you know, could be useful in certain situations, so whatever. It's a nice little benefit if you're going up against a shit ton of skeletons or something like that all of a sudden. And this is where we gain our Inescapable Destruction. So at 6th level, the Cleric's ability to channel negative energy becomes more potent. The necrotic damage dealt by the Cleric's spells and Channel Divinity options ignore resistances to necrotic damage. So I really like this. It's pretty fucking great. It just makes it so that all that damage that we've built up on top of our melee swings, they now cannot be ignored by our additional little necrotic damage that we're going to be hitting for, which is awesome. And then this just adds on to it at 8th level when we get our Divine Strike. So once on each of our turns, we can save this just like we could save a Smite as an example for our Paladin. We can wait for that critical hit, and then we can use our Divine Strike and add that extra 1d8 necrotic damage to our target. And at 8th level Cleric, this is level 20, I decided to just, you know, give another example of a good feat that you could take, and that would be Lucky. Of course, Lucky is an amazing feat to take. This will further make it so that you could possibly roll that 20 or roll a saving throw. There's not much more to be said about Lucky. It's a beautiful feat that any class could be able to take. Now, I'll just quickly go over some spells, some cantrips, guidance, always guidance, mending, pretty good, sacred flame in case you run out of spell slots and you still need a range, I really like that, thaumaturgy because maybe you're looking to be more intimidating. You're not going to be concentrating on anything most of the time, so Bane or Bless could be an amazing ability to have with this character, so you could go about casting Bane on everything, which is an amazing, amazing ability. Then there's always some always prepared ones like False Life, I believe here, Ray of Sickness, Blindness / Deafness, Ray of Enfeeblement, Animate Dead. I would recommend taking Healing Word, preferably over like Cure Wounds, unless, you know, whichever you need. But just take one of them just to help, you know, you have your healing hands already, but like this will also help just get that healer up again, possibly, you know. It's always nice to have healing abilities. Shield of Faith, of course, this is awesome, giving us a +2 to our AC. I would recommend taking this as well, boosting up our AC even further while we're wearing plate. Of course, we can go with Beacon of Hope, Spirit Guardians, because this will count as necrotic damage too, which is awesome. So Spirit Guardians is dope with this character. This could call for, if you want to focus more on these spell abilities too, you might want to take Warcaster at some point. That's another really great feat to take. Alright, and so we're back here. As we can see, like that was kind of the build idea that I had for this character, where we're looking for those big fucking hits all the time, and we're looking to gain health, we're looking to gain the upper hand on people, and at the same time being able to do what we want to do. Looking at our skills here, as we can see, the Persuasion is at a 14. I think I went with it at some point, I can't remember when. The Athletics is at a +11, pretty decent. History +7, Insight +10, Intimidation +10. You know, not a very skilled character, like fairly skilled, like only necessary for what this character is seeking out to do in my eyes. So like if I need to lift something, I can. If I did some minor research into history while I was growing up, I needed to learn to read people, I needed to intimidate the shit out of people, and eventually I needed to persuade people or some shit like that. So that's up to you, again, of how you divvy out these skills with this build. Of course, with some of the actions that we can see here, you know, we have our Great Sword, and then all these other spells that are just always prepared. They're always here for us. Our AC is 21. We get a whole bunch of Turn Undead. We get Healing Hands, Necrotic Shroud, Unarmed Strikes. Of course, with Fighting Spirit, absolutely beautiful. Our Great Weapon Master attack, our Second Wind, like everything is really nice. This is a pretty straightforward build, pretty simple-minded. You know, you get in there, you hit really fucking hard, and you keep hitting. And then later on, it's just you just add on necrotic damage, and that's where I really like this character. Like my idea of the backstory of this character is that they've continued to fall. Like something happened in their life where, you know, maybe their brother did betray them or some shit like that, and tried to kill them. And instead of, you know, finding their inner peace as Genji did, they just turned fucking evil. They just went full asshole, and so they decided to hone their abilities. And they're seeking out vengeance or whatever. Or we could go with something like Dark Matter, where that's a TV show that I can't remember what happens or their names in it right now. But there's a character in it where his stepmother betrayed him, made it look like his father was assassinated by him. He in turn became exiled. He had to kill a lot of people that were innocent, but there's a cultural thing there or whatever. Yeah, so there's a lot of backstory potential that you can do with this, especially if you do end up going with Noble. So there's a lot of shit that can happen. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave it here. There's not much more to be said about this character. Pretty simple and straightforward. We deal damage, we hit hard, and we kick ass. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this character build and can take some inspiration away for your own, and have a great day, and bye-bye.